Cool.
And welcome back to the dumpster fire that is my podcast. I'm here to break the stigma against moms who smoke. And this week I'm joined by Chrissy, who, do you want to introduce yourself and what you do?
Hey,
That's what you do, yeah.
I'm Chrissy. I met Paige just through, I guess, Facebook. She has this podcast and mutual friends as well. Yeah, mom of two. My boys are older. I have one who was going to start college and is now contemplating just with the whole online thing and everything. Um, I think he's going to put that on hold because he'd
Yeah,
like to do the actual like experience and just have the teachers on hand and whatnot. The other
absolutely.
one is 13. So yeah, right back into all that fun stuff with school. So
Yeah,
yeah, that's where we're at right now.
awesome. So yeah, if before I get started, make sure to follow me on Instagram at Moms Who Smoke Podcast, Twitter at The Moms Who Smoke, and on Facebook I am Moms Who Smoke. And you can find Chrissy. Do you want to shout out your stuff?
Yeah, so I run moms and mom buds and friends group on Facebook. It's for 420 friendly. So yeah, it's just for women to come and just chill, share their experiences, growing tips, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, anything kind of for 420 friendly. So yeah,
Yeah, it's
keep
easy
it fun on the
so
side.
that's easy to find on Facebook too, and I'll make sure to link it in this episode if you guys want to join that group because I know a lot of listeners are under that category for sure. Um, yeah. So this week I was brainstorming what's relevant right now, but it didn't take much brainstorming um, to come up with the fact like I think we're all overwhelmed about back to school season. Whether your kids are going into junior kindergarten or going into grade 12, I think we're all just kind of not panicking, but panicking. It's almost this like calm
Sure.
state of what do I do? Like what's best? And you don't know. I don't know. There's no definite answer.
No,
Um, so
and
yeah,
it's definitely different for everybody. Everybody's situation is totally different for
for
sure.
sure. And at the time that we're recording this, we have heard from the Ministry of Education of Ontario, but haven't seen a definite plan, at least from my kids' school board as of yet. I don't think that many school boards have sent anything out yet.
No,
Um,
nothing in depth.
and I don't expect it till at least like mid to end August because they need time too to put this stuff in place. And yeah. So how are you feeling about your 13-year-old and school, or how is he feeling?
I he wants to go back just to kind of get into, a regular routine and everything and see his friends, but I don't know if that's gonna be the case because they're actually going back to, I guess, the way it was back when I was in grade 7 and 8. Like we pretty much had one classroom. So
Mhm.
that'll be the way it is, right? Like you're in just one class all day, you have your lunch there and everything. I don't know how they're going to work out like the outdoor time thing, like if it's going to be totally everybody separate and he doesn't get to see his friends. Not that that's like the main issue, but like
In a
it's a
13-year-old's
big,
mind, it is.
yeah, it's a big aspect of it. And stuff. So it's a lot to think about and a lot to take in, and not just the friend aspect, just in general, like health wise, like how are they really supposed to keep anywhere from 20 to 30 students because they're not minimizing the
Yeah.
class sizes? How are they supposed to keep their distances properly?
So
You
this is
know,
what blew me away, and I'm going to bring in some of the Ministry of Education summary right here because it's, references it well.
hmm
Um, but I'm confused. One, why kindergarten to grade 3 do not have to wear masks because they are far more germ infested and splattering things than 4 to 12. Two, why class sizes aren't changing. That makes no sense at all. If you're going to be doing all these little smaller groups, then, anyways, why are we not? Anyways. And then three, that up to 500 public nurses will be phased in. Ontario has nearly 5,000 publicly funded schools. That's one
yeah,
nurse per 100 schools.
yeah.
And
Where are they getting them all from?
well, yeah, and like you can't even, yeah, I want to say like bring in 3,000,
hmm
but you can't. And oh yeah.
Yeah, there's so many aspects to this that it's so flawed.
Yeah.
And is it just a ploy? They're just saying this to try and ease people's minds, or like, are you actually going to follow through with all of these? Like, there's just so much to take in and so little time realistically. Like, we're already in August and they're supposed to go back, like, yeah, in three and a
It's
half, 4-ish weeks.
yeah, and it's I don't know, the thought of I know I've been taking my kids to stores since my son turned 6 because honestly, like his birthday was the end of June and we were going insane. So we
Hmm.
started to go to stores regularly and they wear masks and they know that they have to sanitize their hands and wash. But they, like my thought on it is I'm so cautious taking them to a grocery store where I'm watching their every move that why am I going to send them into a classroom with these, even say 15 other kids that
Yeah.
aren't on top of that, and the teachers can't be helping with them with things, and like to
No.
tell a 4-year-old to distance, you're going to have 6 meltdowns at once. Like I feel so bad for the teachers. I don't
Yeah,
know.
and I think as far as the math aspect, I think they are leaving that up to parents, whether or not
Hmm.
they're like, even for the younger ones, right? Like they are recommending like grade 4 and up definitely have to wear it all day long.
Yeah.
No ifs, ands, or buts. Younger ones, totally up to the parents, right? But I think it's more or less like, you know, senior kindergarten, junior kindergarten, grade 1s, they're going to be constantly playing with
Oh
it
yeah.
and drooling all over it, losing them,
Yeah.
and it's just going to
100%.
be an absolute mess, right?
And
So
that's
I think in that
exactly
aspect, it's hard.
And that's exactly my thought with my kids because they're going into senior kindergarten in grade 1. And while I trust them and know that they are really responsible for their age, as soon as I'm not standing there, that goes out the window. They're going to act like I never taught them anything in the world. I know how they are.
It's
Like kids are
it's
kids.
just like mittens and toques come
Yeah.
winter time. How many pairs of those do you go through in a winter, right? It's just a thing that kids do,
Yeah.
and it is also now one more thing that they're also going to have to try and keep up if they are going to school, right?
And
And
you
they
don't
do
want
decide to,
and you can't dig through a bin full of masks. Like that's not going to be a thing. Yes, after 3 days everything dies, but nobody's going to want to go and dig through all that. Like that's got kids snot and stuff all over it. And my thought is like I know that a month into school every year they get sick. So am I
yeah.
going to send them into school and then there's going to be somebody's going to test positive or they're going to think somebody tested positive so the school has to close down for 14 days or we all have to quarantine, like it just immediately sends life back up into like a freaking chaos
And
after
I think that,
finally
like,
settling.
in some ways, I think that may be the only way we're really ever going to know if it's progressing or it will progress, or it'll get better or get worse, right? And it's a little scary that if you kind of think about it, like, the kids are kind of getting used as guinea
Hmm.
pigs, more or less. I don't know if I should just kind of say that, but I feel a little like that,
You
But
can
it's
come out and
crossed my
say
mind.
anything you want. There's
Oh,
no
for sure. That it's definitely crossed my mind that they are kind of getting used as guinea pigs. Like,
Well,
you
and
know,
I'm not up for that. And there was a comment, and I'm not calling anybody out. And if the person who commented this is listening to this, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to call you out. But I saw a comment on one of the local groups in the last couple days, and she's like, well, it's a 0.001% chance that my kid will get it. And I'm like, but that's way too high of a chance for me. And does that make me sound like a psychotic mother or like super high anxiety? Or does that make me on top of it and concerned in the right ways? And it's just astronomical the difference in thinking. And I also understand that there's some parents that have to send their kids to school because they need to go to work in order to survive.
yeah,
Enough
yeah,
that I don't have to do that right now. But
yeah. And then another question: what happens to single parents that choose or feel that they can't send their child or children to school? Then what do they do income wise? Are they going to be supplemented for that?
and it's
Because
a
how else are they going to do that, right?
and I don't think that a lot of people realize that it's really minuscule things. And I've said this on the podcast before, but my kids have hot lunch 4 days a week, and that
Hmm.
wasn't my doing. and it wasn't like it was the school's doing. And they had milk every day, and I don't know,
Yeah.
that's 8 meals a week, and that's 8 drinks a week, and that's huge off of my plate. And going into quarantine, that was a struggle because I'm like, oh my God, I haven't had to worry about lunch for all this time. I sent snacks and
Mhm.
stuff, but it wasn't a full meal. And even just adjusting to that was nothing. And I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what they bring out. But as soon as they bring something out, I think there's also going to be so much backlash that, you know, there's no right answer right now. Maybe until
No.
there's a vaccine or the numbers are just not going up, which is, I think we should just wait until they stop going up to go back to school. But maybe that's just a me thing.
I do think it is being rushed a little bit. Like, yes, I do understand that they have been out of school for, quite some time, but is it safe for them? Is what it comes down to. Like,
And it's the entire population. It's not just some kids. Like, I don't
yeah.
know. Yeah, it's frustrating. And it's hard to see, like in the States, I watch a lot of like YouTube channels and vloggers in the States, and their kids in school. And we're in school even towards the end of the year. And I'm just like totally flabbergasted because numbers are so much higher there. I don't know. It's
And
yeah.
that's what I would like be the number of like younger cases. Like they don't really I haven't really been able to find specific numbers on like ages as far as, younger kids. How many cases of them? I want to know.
I'm looking on the CDC right now. Which isn't, that's not good. We're not going to rely on the CDC. We're going to go back to a Canadian one. Just realized what I said. Um, See, everything's states, and now I don't trust any of the data from the states because it's all butchered.
Yeah, yeah.
Canada. Maybe if I added Canada, that would help.
It works itself out. Like the class sizes, for kindergarten classes, they're looking at about 29 for a class. Um, and maximum sizes for like high school kids are like roughly 50 a class.
I
That's
can't understand that.
crazy. Like that would be max. And that's like, even from like grades four and up. Those
That's,
sizes are crazy. Grade 1 to 3 are like 23 to 30. I don't I don't know about it. Really,
I
it's
can't find
scary.
any data just based on age. Yeah.
Yeah, I was looking like all day and I had a hard time. And then actually one of the videos I was going through, local news, they
Hmm.
had mentioned, which I hadn't heard prior, of a teenager who contracted it recently.
Did you share that? Because I just saw that.
I don't know if I shared it or not, but I literally not long before we started this, I was looking into that.
Hmm.
Yeah. So I was like, okay. And now I want to know, like, what are these cases in younger kids? Because now that, summer's been going on and, they're out there and they're hanging out with their friends and stuff again. We are supposed to be staying this pod of 10 people, right? But
Yeah. See, like
then it's
I mean, it branches out like a spider web. Like immediate,
for
like it
sure.
scares me to think about it. But with kids, like kids have a stronger immune system, I believe. I don't know if that's actually true, but like kids are really resilient, and when they're going into a school that has, I'm sorry, but like 32 booger covered kids, and they're coming home not sick for most of the year, okay, they have a good immune system. Like,
Mhm.
and where was I going with that? Oh, I lost my train of thought. Oh, and like there's no data on kids. The kids haven't been out. Yes, like things have started to open up and parents have started taking their kids out, but the kids have been probably the most sheltered along with the elderly because
Yeah.
people stopped taking their kids to stores because you couldn't take your kids in. And unless you're a single parent, like my kids went a couple times, but we had to because I needed certain things and I didn't have the ability to get them.
Mhm.
But
And
there's
parks and stuff as well were all closed, so there wasn't places to gather and everything, and now those are all open as well. And like things must have changed since. phase 3 has opened, right? Like,
I feel like
well,
so much of it is shaded though, and we don't see it. And I don't
mhm.
know if I should say that online and like if I'm going to get called out by some government agency, but some part of me feels that we're not getting all the facts.
Oh, for sure. We won't 100% get all of the facts, never in anything, right?
Yeah,
But
that's true.
it
I think
number wise,
missing
I
big
would like to know when you're asking us to send all our children back to school.
hmm
I feel we have a right to know.
Yeah, and
Like,
I think that there should be straight answers given because I'm not going to talk about like what party I vote for, but regardless of the politician, any of them on TV right now, they're not answering a goddamn thing. And like I want to throw myself at the TV because I'm just so frustrated with it. Because it's like, can you look at these doctors that are sitting there sheepishly giving us the information and then we can't get straight answers from the people that are supposed to be our leaders and telling us what to do. And same with the
yeah,
what the
and
Ministry of
health officials,
and what the Ministry of Education sent out wasn't sufficient. It was so open-ended in
vague.
so many ways. And
Hmm.
I don't know, I saw something on Facebook. I have not fact checked this. I don't know if it's true, but they said that they're giving oh, I gotta find it now. $309 million in investments to the school, but they're giving 500 million to the Ontario lottery.
Oh, because that's so important right now
I
in
don't
this
know.
very time.
Again, I didn't fact check that,
Oh,
but I most of what I've seen lately is true, so I wouldn't be surprised.
yeah.
But it's pathetic. I feel like the government's just slowly trying to weasel their way out of it, and when everything goes wrong, they're going to be like, "We told you so. We gave you guidelines. You just didn't follow them."
Yeah.
It's like we're trying to, some of us at least.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
So are you choosing you're going to keep your kids home? They're going to be homeschooled?
yeah, which has been a
Yeah.
battle in itself. Their their dad doesn't agree with it, and for I understand his side of it and not wanting them to be out of school, but as the one who has them full time and would then have to prepare for being able to quit a job and be home 24/7 on a dime, I can't do that.
Mhm.
It's better
Mhm.
for me financially, mentally, and for the kids to just stay home and kind of wait it out than it is
Yeah.
to, I don't know, go back into this cycle again. Because,
Well, I think there are options to possibly sign up. Like if you wanted to start the like whatever if you're going to do online or homeschooling or whatever, and then sign up for later on
oh yeah,
in the school year
you can keep
to possibly integrate them back in.
You can keep your kids enrolled. It's actually good because it keeps funding the public school system, and that's what they need. If you keep your kids enrolled
Mhm.
and they just do distance learning, um, but if they, sorry, my kids are talking.
Okay.
If you want to do homeschooling for them, you have to completely unenroll them from school. So that's what kind of scared me.
Okay.
So yeah, you have to completely unenroll them from school in order to homeschool. So I'm gonna do distance learning and just supplement with free homeschooling tools that I found.
Mhm.
Um, because I'm afraid that they're not going to be sending out enough to keep my kids busy because they just fly through everything, and everything that they had sent out throughout the spring and towards the end of the school year was not sufficient.
Adequate enough. Yeah.
No, it was a
I felt
mess.
the same way with Carter.
Yeah. And like it just we would do it all in one day. And I can only change activities so much till they're not fun anymore. And so I've just started to, I don't know, prepare for that, I guess. But are you sending, you said you're not sending, or you don't
No, I'm gonna send him, I guess. His
know?
dad is leaning towards it more than I am, but
Okay.
I guess, he is getting up to that age where I kind of have to give him that decision as well, right? Like, if he feels comfortable enough doing that, then
Yeah.
we'll go that route.
At
But
least at
yeah,
that,
we'll totally, base it on how things are going as well, right? Like,
yeah.
if I'm not comfortable, then I'm totally gonna pull him.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
mean, it'll all be about that first couple weeks because I think parents are either going to be very on one side or the other. Like, there's not going to be much in between for the first little bit, and then I think once things settle down again, then you'll see more kids go back to school. But I
Yeah.
don't know. I'm definitely nervous about it.
Oh yeah, for
But
sure.
yeah. Um.
Yeah. But I think like as far as like even like parents with younger kids, right? It's going to be a little bit of a learning process for them as well, right? Because it's going to be totally different. Or even the JKs that are now going to school and they have like these extra steps that, that they wouldn't regularly have to go through starting out for the first time, right? So I think it would be a good idea that if parents are making that decision to send their kids back to school, to start kind of preparing them now, that not that they haven't been or whatever, but
Yeah.
just implementing that like each day, like uh, if you're gonna have screen time during the day, then the amount of time that you have screen time, you have to wear your mask the entire time, like
I
kind of make
love that
little
idea.
games and stuff about it.
I can't stand the
Yeah,
comments
and then like,
that say,
go ahead.
my kid won't wear my kid won't wear a mask. I can't get my kid to wear a mask. And it's like your kid sees a Batman mask, he's gonna throw that thing on.
Oh, for
Or
sure, like
something that's all
personalize them, right?
princessy. Yeah, like you gotta work with the kid and this is scary for them too. And like I don't like wearing a mask, but I got myself a cool tie-dye one and like I've made them look cool and I feel better about them now. And like the kids are the same. They have little princessy ones and like I think Dawson's got ones with dragons or something on it and another blue one and like you just gotta appeal to them and bribery works. It's okay to
Yeah.
bribe your kids to do these things. It's a learning curve. You bribe them to potty train, it's just look at it
Oh,
as
for
that.
sure.
Like
You have to just make it fun,
yeah,
you know? Let them choose, because now, instead of having just the one match, like five, one per day or whatever,
yeah,
and then you can choose a variety of masks.
100%. And my kids know now, like if they put on their mask, we'll go to a store. So every time that we're leaving the house, they're like, "Do you have the masks? Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have your money? Yeah, we're good."
Yes, guys. Thanks.
But it's good though. Like
They're
they're
the cutest
accustomed to
though.
it. They are. They're hilarious with some of this stuff. Like I can't. I don't know. Some of the ways that they just say things or come up with things, I have to shake my head and walk away because I don't know how to respond.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
no, they're good. Um, but they are also like I think my kids are not the norm. I have very good kids, and I'm not trying to like brag or make myself sound better. They're just very well behaved and very
Yeah.
easily adaptable. And I know a lot of kids aren't that way and won't wear masks like that, but I just can't imagine them going into a school right now. Just anxiety.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So,
Yeah, I was
oh, go ahead.
yeah, I wasn't sure how Carter was gonna feel about like having to wear a mask. He's like, "Oh my God, like all day, really?" I'm like, "Dude, whatever, like it'll be fine." And
Yeah.
then I found like this really wicked basketball design. He loves Golden State, so
Okay.
I made him a mask, and he's just like, "Oh yeah, this is wicked." So he brought it with him now that he goes out and plays basketball with his friends at the arena, and they'll go and grab a smoothie sometimes. And of course, he was the only one with a mask, so he had to go in and do like all the ordering and everything. So
Aw,
kind of proud of himself when it came to that, right? So I
that's
was like, yeah,
awesome.
that's good. And then it was a positive experience, so it kind of, now encourages them to continue wearing it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's hard to make sure every time you go out, it's gonna be positive. Like it's not a guaranteed thing. But
Yeah,
especially with the first couple times that I took them to the corner store when we needed milk, or I ran out of smokes at 8 p.m. and they were in their pajamas and we ran over. Because I do that apparently very frequently. Um, they they know that they'll get something out of it if they behave well and wear their masks properly, and
yeah,
they're so accustomed to it. It's like I don't know, it's an accessory, and you got to treat it as so. Like try and take the I don't know, try to ignore the virus side of it and just be like, look at now I get to like not smile at people all day. If you're grumpy,
yeah,
you don't have to smile. Like I
yeah,
don't know. Don't have to talk to people. You can just pretend that you didn't hear them. They can't see your face. They don't know if you're happy or not. Try and find the little things to like cheer them up about it. But My
for
cat's
sure.
underneath me ready to attack. Sorry, I'm like preparing myself. Yeah. So I also kind of wanted to talk about like what we do to keep ourselves like grounded and what you, I don't know, how you make sure that you have time for yourself and you're level-headed because I know that you're out by the water a lot and I feel like people would
Yeah, I
benefit
find
from your
that
advice.
my place, not sorry, not that
Yeah.
specific place, but like I totally am chill when I'm by water, like just anywhere.
Yeah.
Like
Because
I can even have just like, just like the pool aspect this year. I grabbed this little tiny pool, but and my floaty was literally the size of inside of the pool, but I closed my eyes and I just chilled and listened to the trees and pretended I was like on a lake or something, but
yeah.
that's how I cope right now. Like still not working because I work in daycare and I've been extremely stressed out about that. And I'm still 100% unsure whether I want to reopen or not. Um, you know, because now I'd be starting fresh with new clients,
Mm-hmm.
like not all new clients, but like one that I did have prior has like breathing issues, so that's like a health concern. Mom's not sure about having like a full group around again, so I have to take that into consideration. Well, I also have to think of my income, right? So um, another parent was just like, I don't want to send my daughter to JK this year. She's deciding not to. Um, but then has to factor in two children in daycare as well. So she was thinking maybe 3 days a week. And I'm like, oh, you know, I was more or less, if I was going to reopen, I need like my full daycare again, more or less,
Yeah.
or I was at least anticipating, at minimum three full timers. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know what to do. It's very up in the air as far as that and
It's a lot to
stressing
deal
me
with.
out. Yeah,
Yeah.
because like um, most regulations when it comes to stuff like that, they have a fever, they can't come. They need to go and get tested or stay quarantined for 14 days. Now, how often is a child going to get a fever? They get a fever if they're teething.
My daughter
If
has a fever
they're,
literally every morning. She just runs hot.
like it's just it happens to them regularly for just a new amount of things,
Mhm.
right? Let alone for now what is going on. So every morning I would have to be testing fevers, like taking temperature, asking all these questions, not allowing them. Am I going to have to deal with parents not wanting to pay me now that their children can't come? But is this
It's just
my
so much chaos.
yeah, it's just so much. Like I
Yeah.
just don't know what to do, but it's coming down to like crunch time and I just gotta figure it out.
I don't know. It'll be nice to see once the school board makes the decision, I think. And especially the local ones, so you can kind of see where all the kids are at. Because you might be
Yeah.
able to find a good group of, say, five that all these parents are looking for one person to watch them all because they're in the same pod at school, and it might work out in
Mhm.
your favor. Although it
Yeah.
might not, and you might just decide not to open too. I mean, that might not be a bad thing. Um, yeah, that's chaos. I'm glad that you
We
have
shall
something
see.
that
It's
calms
just
you, though.
been forever. Right? Oh yeah. Like that's where I was going back, like going back to that was
Yeah,
this time off has like totally refreshed me and I've totally needed, and that's where I find my time is like by the water, and
yeah.
great that it's local.
I love whenever you
Great.
post pictures when you're out there. I'm like, ah, she's having a peaceful moment. Like that. That's it's so pretty. I'm so happy for
Four
her.
hours later,
Well,
I'm not even joking. Like that day that I walked you and the kids, I went back there,
yeah.
and I had been there since like 9:30 in the morning, and I got back home. It was like I don't know 1:30, quarter to two.
Oh
Like I was
wow.
just there forever. Yeah, I watched some girl chill there with her dog, and they were playing in the water together. It was great.
Aw,
It
that's
totally
awesome.
chilled me out. And I totally lose time of like I
Oh
totally
yeah.
lose track of time. Like totally. But yeah,
But
that's my way of just keeping calm or camping.
yeah,
Mind you, camping with the dogs was
outdoorsy, yeah. That's awesome. You like when I walked up to you that day with the kids, like you were out on the rock and it took me a minute to get your attention. You were so relaxed and so in your zone. You can
yeah.
you can go grab a snack from the snack cupboard. Quietly, please. She's walking with her hands like this.
Quietly.
Cue the bang. Yeah. I don't know. I feel the same kind of peace. I think being outside helps me a lot. Even just going
Yeah.
out and sitting outside in the morning. I have my routine in the morning now. I'm gonna wait until she's crinkling. Good night. Oh man. Yeah. So anyways,
Well, you
um
got a snack too, at least through that.
yeah, she found Smarties. I didn't know I had Smarties. Um
Sure.
but yeah, I in order to deal with that chaos, because that's as soon as I wake up in the morning, I mean obviously I smoke, but I go and sit outside for a few minutes, and lately I've been trying to test myself by not going outside to have a cigarette and not going outside to have a bowl, just going out and sitting
Hmm.
out there. Because I don't know. I do kind of have two bad habits and I should probably tone them down just a little bit. Um
Yeah.
but it's I don't know, it's a different kind of peace, and I thought that it was because I was smoking, and it's not. It's just being outside. Like I feel like I just get like an energy recharge as soon as I step out the door and like feel the sun on me, or like smell the fresh air, or I don't know. Nature
Yeah.
does something different, and
It does wonders for sure.
it does. But
Yeah. Like my mom always giving me crap. Don't walk through the forest by yourself, Christy. And I'm like, Mom, I'll be okay. She's like, well, it's a dangerous world out there. I'm like, Mom, I love you. I'll be okay. But I find peace. Like, I just get into a zone and I just
yeah,
take nature in.
I find that when I'm walking, especially on trails or like down a highway, just because my parents live quite a bit down the highway, and so I would walk in sometimes.
Hmm.
Um, I completely lose track of time. Like as soon as I pass that stop sign, all of a sudden I'm at St. Thomas and I don't remember. Like it's like okay, where did the
Yeah,
last half an hour ago go? I have no idea. And I don't know. It's like meditation. It's like the best form of meditation for me.
for sure.
Yeah.
100% agree. Like
Uh,
sometimes I'll just walk around here and I'll head over into like the new area and just like they have not a very nice pond-ish area, but whatever. There's like a water area, and I'll just like, walk around there a few times. And
yeah.
if I don't want to drive somewhere and, or head into the city and check out new places. But
Yeah.
yeah,
It's cool.
I've definitely enjoyed that and I'm taking in as much as I can this summer for sure.
Absolutely. I'm trying to do the same thing, and we've been going for walks every day, and I don't know, just trying to enjoy the heat and enjoy the fact that we don't have responsibilities right now, and we can just do what we want, because in 3 weeks it's not going to be that, and
Yeah,
I don't know if
yeah.
I'm ready for
Back
it,
to
but
a back to a routine
yeah. But yeah,
or some kind of a routine. Yeah.
find a new routine, that's for sure. But anyways, I think that's been 40 minutes. That was really good. I don't know, it's fun. You just kind of get into conversation, and I don't know. It's interesting to hear other people's sides of things and like how they're feeling, and especially about, I don't know, with the world the way it is right now. Like I'm always wanting to hear what people are thinking, because I still don't know what I'm thinking half the time. Like my thoughts are
Yeah.
so influenced by, the
Oh,
information that other
and it can
people put out.
fluctuate from day to day, right? With everything that's going on.
Absolutely. But yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's it for this week's podcast, and I will see you in next week's. And yeah, check Chrissy out on Facebook and Instagram, right? You made an Instagram for the page too, right?
I did. Yeah.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
check us out
Thank
on
you.
Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And yeah, we'll see you in next week's episode. I just wanted
Thanks,
to do
guys.
that so I didn't forget to do it, because I've done that before and then had to go back on and re record an ending.
Shit.